Pinterest users like myself have wanted to see the company get into this. Investors have wanted to see this. Is this going to make us happy? Will I still need to leave Pinterest to search for a product on Google or Amazon if I want to buy it?
Well, the thing that Pinterest is really trying for here is to make this as seamlessly integrated into the app as possible. So you will have tiny little blue price tags at the bottom of pins that you see normally on your site. It'll still be underneath the picture. It'll still look just like Pinterest. Whether that changes the experience of Pinterest and makes it a little bit less about inspiration and a little bit more about purchasing, whether that turns people off, we have yet to see. But it's true that consumers have been asking for this for a while.
Now, Sarah, hang on, because I want to bring in one of Pinterest's Buyable Pins partners, and that is Satish Kanwar, Director of Product at Shopify. Also with us, Ben Legg, CEO at the digital ad company AdKnowledge and a longtime former Google executive. Satish, I'll start with you. What is the nature of your partnership with Pinterest? I know you said Pinterest is the #2 referrer of traffic. I wonder what #1 is and how big you expect this business to be.
Yeah, we're very excited to be working with the Pinterest team. We think this is going to be an excellent partnership that's really going to deliver to Pinners what they've always wanted, which is not just the aspirational cataloging of things that are interesting to them, but an opportunity to directly buy those products. And so now all Shopify merchants now have an opportunity to take those really unique, discoverable goods and the branded products that they have and bring those directly into the Pinterest ecosystem. And I think when it comes really to that word discovery, which is what are the products that you're not specifically looking for, but you find, you admire, and really inspire you. And that's what Pinterest is making possible today.
So who's the #1 referrer of traffic to Shopify?
Well, in data that Shopify has shared in the past, Facebook has been the highest traffic driver from the social media sources to all Shopify stores. But Pinterest has been growing quite rapidly. And in data we released with Pinterest last week, we saw that they were the second highest referrer, but they actually represented the highest average order value of orders referred to Shopify stores. So Pinners are just willing to spend more from what we can see.
Interesting. Now, we actually spoke with Tim Kindle, Pinterest executive, the head of partnerships, about this sort of pivot towards e-commerce. Take a listen to what Tim had to say.
I think social networks are primarily about sharing things that you did in the past or things that you're doing in the moment with your friends and family. And that's not what Pinterest is. Pinterest is for you to plan your future. What do you want to cook for dinner tonight? What do you want to buy at the mall this weekend? Where do you want to travel this summer? It's about planning your own future. It's really not about sharing those things with friends or family necessarily.
You know, it's interesting, Ben, I'll bring you in on this. We can see from the data that Shopify released that intent to buy on Pinterest is huge, but it's still a fairly small company, 70 million users, growing 75%. What's your take on how this move will supercharge growth? Will it?
It could well do. So certainly, if people know they can curate and purchase all in the same place, I would have thought they would get more users rather than less. But you're absolutely right. The audience is fairly small. We work with lots of social networks and lots of advertisers, and typically they say until a site has about 50 million users in the US, they're not that interested in learning a new skill and advertising in a new place. What I would say, though, I think Pinterest is different. Pinterest is, as you heard from the exec at Pinterest, it's more like a search engine than a social network, and therefore the potential revenue per user is probably higher than with many other social networks because people are actually curating things and planning to buy things.
Sarah, should Google and Amazon be worried?
Oh, definitely. I mean, when you look at what Pinterest has achieved here is they've found out how to say this person is interested in buying this kind of thing, and we're showing it to them, and they can click on it, buy it directly through the site. I'm sure in the past, sometimes those pinners have gone to Amazon or Google to find that item. Now they can just do it direct through Pinterest.
Ben, you know, obviously Google, well, and Google, as we talked about, is working on a buy button, Facebook as well, Twitter as well. Ben, where do you see Pinterest in the future with those giants where the traffic really is, though intent to buy may not be as strong just yet?
Yeah, that's one of the key points. Is the reality is most people go to Facebook and Twitter to find out what their favorite people are doing and saying, as opposed to buy. So to me, a buy button on Pinterest makes a lot more sense. Clearly, for Google, it would make sense too. And in essence, in some ways, they're sort of catching up with Amazon, but in a more social-friendly way. So I think advertisers will not say, I'm going to do Facebook or Pinterest. They'll say, if they have enough volume, I'll give it a try. If I were to bet on which is the better used and higher monetizing buy button, is it Pinterest or Facebook? My instinct would be Pinterest in terms of per user, because they're looking to buy. Facebook has a lot of traffic, so people will try that too.